Happy St. Patrick's Day, Facebook friends. We are live with another segment of Behind the Jeans. It's Friday, and it is a beautiful sunshiny day here at Kimes Ranch. I wanted to talk today about the story behind our logo. We get asked all the time, Mr. Kimes and I, and those of us here in the office are always asked, where did this logo come from? What's the story behind it? And it's kind of a fun one. At least I think it's fun, so I was going to share that story with you guys today and explain to you why we use the logo everywhere. You'll see it, we use it on our ball caps, we use it on tees, we use it on jeans, we use it everywhere. Mr. Kimes and I started dating in 2006, and as our love blossomed, we started to do things that couples do after they've been together for a while. Move in together, purchase things together, and one of our first big purchases together as a couple shortly before we got married, most people get a dog or a cat. Well, Matt and I bought 2 longhorns together, Betty and Barney, and they were just babies. We bought them from one of our endorsees, Laurel Denton, and they were the cutest things you've ever seen. Barney was this little baby red and white spotted cow, and then that's the phone. Betty was a beautiful black and white heifer. So Matt and I had this great big dream that together we were going to become cattle ranchers, and we were going to have tons of cattle, and that's how we were going to make our millions and make our way in this world. So in order to do that, of course, you have to have a brand. What are you going to be? Well, we were going to be, Kimes Land and Cattle, and we were going to have a brand, and every cow was going to have our brand on it. So one night, Matt was sketching on a notepad that we still have somewhere, out different brands, and kind of the very first brands that he sketched, I'm not sure how well we can see this back here, was something along the lines of this. The concept behind it was it needed to be easy to put into a branding iron, it needed to be angular, and it needed to be easy to stamp on your cow. So this was the actual first concept for our logo. It had a couple evolutions. These are what I would sketch it as. Obviously, thank God we didn't go with any of those. Or any of these, but this was kind of the general idea of it before it was refined. We do have sketches of the refined look as well. So that was our great big cattle dream that we had. Lo and behold, we are not cattle ranchers. Betty has since died, and we now have one, Barney. He still remains. So the cattle ranching thing didn't work out for us so well. But Mr. Kimes and I did get married and progress with our life, and we got married in 2008. And in March of 2009, we had this great idea to start a jean company, because what else should we do? So we had the concept, we had our first patterns, we had an idea of what we wanted to do, what we wanted to sell, but we needed something else. We needed a detail, we needed a logo, we needed something that we could put on our rear pockets. Well, we came up with a lot of different things, and we didn't like any of them. But I always thought, gosh, this logo should really be utilized. We never did anything with it. Why don't we go to do this? So I kept telling Matt, we should put that on the back of our pockets. Well, then what do you name a company like that with a logo like that? Well, really, the only thing that came to mind was Longhorn. So our very first name was Longhorn Jean Company, as many of you have seen the video and heard the story. And so we were Longhorn Jean Company, and we had this logo, and it has stuck. The name has since changed, and we've got a great story on the evolution of our name, but the logo has not veered or altered in all of these years since 2009. We've just done different things with it. So on the left, we have a women's jean. You can see we call this just a filled-in logo, meaning that it's just one solid stitch line, and it's filled in. There's no holes in it. And then on the right, we have a Dylan jean. This is a men's jean. This is our outlined logo. And so this is just, as you can see, it's not filled. It's just the outline of the logo on the men's pocket. Why did we do it this way? We have no idea why. This is just the very first concept we had, and it stuck. So we have a filled-in logo for the women's and an outline logo for the men's, and that's just the way it's been since day one. We do a couple of different variations with it. We put a little logo on the front of the pocket. We also utilize the small logo on our men's jean. Our hats all have the logo. Then we did some really wild things where you would take an outline logo and you would fill it with a print. So Betty and Barney were the inspiration for the logo and the jean company. Betty died, she passed. It was a very sad and tragic time for us. We had a funeral. Barney mourned her loss for about an hour, really, is what it turned out to be. Barney, who knew, was a much happier cow without Betty around. Barney still resides, and he takes 3 daily naps. He has no idea that he's a cow. He lives with the horses. He's hog fat. He eats all the horse food before they get a chance to, so we usually have to be careful with who we pair him with. And he still is the Kimes Ranch mascot. So the cattle baron thing didn't work out so well for us, but luckily for Matt and I, the gene thing did take off. So, ladies and gentlemen, the story behind the logo, why we chose what we did, and then kind of how we evolved it into other items. But basically, the inception of the logo was, as you see it here, from day one. So Mr. Kimes designed it, and then I just suggested that we place it on the jeans. So good job, Mr. Kimes.